5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heard the learned advocates for the parties full stop era. Recently, the apex court in Suraj Puhan versus Jaya Mohanty and another etc. AIR 2018 SC 4660, and in the case of UPSRTC versus Kumari Rama and others, reported in AIR 2016 SCC 940, has held that appeal is continuation of the earlier proceedings, and High Court is under legal obligation to decide all the issues of list and decide it by giving reasons full stop para. In view of the rival contentions raised, this court is called upon to decide a. Whether the issue of negligence was rightly decided by the tribunal again on the same set of facts, or was it bound by principle of res judicata, b. Whether the court in this appeal will also have to decide whether claimant number 1 was negligent in driving the car or otherwise, c. Whether it is a case of composite negligence qua claimant number 1 slash appellant number 1, though he was the driver and the deduction from his entitlement is just and proper, or otherwise, d. The question is whether claimant number 1 is legal representative and hence entitled to sue. If yes, whether the deduction by tribunal was justified, full stop. The claimants have even challenged adequacy of the compensation awarded and interest awarded thereon, full stop para. Before I proceed to decide this appeal from the facts and law, as is, all the questions will have to be answered in favor of the appellants herein for the reasons mentioned herein below. At the outset, it is noticed that the tribunal has committed an error which is apparent on the face of the record and is against the settled principles of law, as would be demonstrated hereinafter. I would deal with each issue separately under separate heads, namely negligence, applicability of doctrine of res judicata, the compensation to be awarded, and entitlement of the claimants, full stop. The doctrine of res judicata applies to a case where the suit or an issue has already been heard and finally decided by a court, full stop. In the case of abandonment also, this doctrine would apply, full stop. Para. In the aforesaid background, this court feels that it would be necessary to show that the thinking of the tribunal is bad but perverse. Therefore, though I am convinced that principles of res judicata apply, full stop, I have ventured to discuss the finding of negligence which is supported by learned counsel for insurance company, so as to contend that drivers of both the vehicles were negligent, full stop. इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में इस पैसेज का टेक्स्ट दिया हुआ है.